Hello everyone, welcome to the three-part series of color gradation. In this series, I will show you how to do this method using three different weaving patterns: a plain weave, sumuk weave, and with raya knots. In each video, I'll be exploring one pattern and one design and give you tips and tricks for creating this design. In this tutorial, you'll learn how to do the color gradation using only plain weave. In this tutorial, I'll be using this dark blue color to this ice blue color. Now, in order to start, you're going to need two of the yarns unplied. So what I've done here is I've took quite a few strands of the yarn and I've twisted them undone in order to have this kind of collection of each color. So you can easily do this by pinching onto the ends of the yarn and with one hand holding it and the other hand twisting. Slowly the yarns will come undone and you're just going to pull each apart. For in this case here, there are 3 plies to this yarn. This is an acrylic yarn, and when I'm twisting them apart, there will be 3 parts, and I'm going to cut at the base and they'll be all separated. Now this is important when you're building the color with the color gradation method, because you want this to have a gradual buildup of color rather than just having from one color to the other. And so by having thinner plies or strands will create this gradual effect. Now it's alright if you find yourself with yarn that's not acrylic, or if you have a natural yarn like here, this cotton yarn, which has many plies that are very thin. So for this project, you might want to use 2 or 3 plies for each strand as you're building up. And you can easily separate it by using the same method by twisting. And it's up to you how many strands that you use and the thickness that you use. Just remember that as you're building up to the next color, it should have fewer strands than the color from your color 1. Now, the most key important thing with color gradation is being gradual. So here I've already woven a nice base. This is just blue acrylic yarn, and this is the base here. And I'm ready to start introducing the new color that I want. I'm ready to introduce this second color. So instead of just introducing this yarn already, we're going to break down the yarn and use this small strand. Okay, so we're going to start here. I'm going to put this on another tapestry needle just so that it's a little bit easier. Okay, that is probably way too big. I definitely don't need this big of a tapestry needle. Okay, so I'm going to make a row of this, and then I'm going to put another layer on top of the color that I'm transitioning out of. Okay, so first I'm gonna go with this color, and in the same row I'm gonna put it on top. It's gonna be like a little sandwich. Okay. Okay, now because this is the beginning of the row, I'm going to just tuck this yarn end around the first one. Gonna lightly tap it down, probably with a fork. Okay, just make sure that it's nice in place. That yarn is secured here. Then the same pattern, I'm going to just sandwich it in there. Oh, okay, I see what I've done. Okay, so it's the same as this light blue one here. Catch that end. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm just going to make sure that end is stay a little hidden. Okay. Okay. Now, it really depends how gradual you want this appearance to be. If you want it to be really stark, or if it's just kind of a light transition. So I'm going to do 2 rows with this. Now, with this, you might want it to look a little bit more natural. So here I've done the whole row here, But let's say that we want to kind of keep it a little bit more like natural in the sense of like colors changing. So let's say we kind of go in the middle here or off center it. Maybe it's something we could have decided before. Just think it looks a little too unnatural when it starts there at the end. So I'm gonna just bring it in a few rows. Here we are. I like it at this one here. So I'm just tucking that yarn in around and just hiding it in the back. Okay, and then let's see how that goes. I think this will look a little bit better. Yeah, that looks a lot better. I like that. So it kind of feels like it's starting out of nowhere. It's just more natural transition. Okay, and so let's go to the next row. I'm just going to continue this. Now, I want it to be, for me, it's okay. It takes time to like practice and get this right. So I'm just going to go into the next row. And because there's only one, I'm just going to, I want to pull it all the way through this time. And I'm going to follow it here. I just want to make sure you're securing those ends. Making sure that edge is staying nice and straight. Okay, and you can already see it's kind of starting in there. Now I want it to be a little bit more gradual, so I'm going to take it for the next row and just go a few rows in, then I'm going to hide it. It's going to go in the back here so you can see it's only halfway through. I'm going to take the row here. Make sure it's the same. Make sure that edge is nice and straight. So it's a nice gradual, okay. Next what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another row of just the blue. Now I want to go back, so here kind of stepped in the middle, so I want to just go ahead and have it rejoin. So I'm going to just start again. I'm just going from the back. I don't know if it's lazy or not, but just gonna keep it going here. Okay, make sure I go through the right one. Start that new row right. Here. It should match. And get this yarn out that way. Okay, you see how it's slowly doo-doo-doo. So I'm starting and building up a little bit here, over here, and it's just slow and gradual. Now when you want to add more pop or like a harder transition, then we'll add a second strand to it. But I want to still build it up a little bit more gradual, and then I'm going to add up the blue, the ice blue yarn in a minute. Okay. When you're slowly building up the color, the introduction of the color, I just recommend that I recommend that you just gradually add the color, remove the color. So I'm just going to go in again and kind of hide it. Here again, like in the middle. Maybe I'll finish it a little bit earlier than before. Just so it's a little bit more gradual. Maybe this row I'm gonna just make it blue. Maybe I'll even add another row. I don't like to go more than 2 rows without adding new color. So I want it to come back in again, still pretty, so here, it's still in the back. Maybe we just go here. This one's over, under. Oops. Just make sure you're in the right row. Okay. Now I think in the next row I'm going to start adding, here I'm getting a loose end, so I'm gonna go ahead and add another strand or ply of the yarn that I'm using. Now I want to go ahead and add that second strand. But maybe I'll add the second strand in the middle here, or towards the edge. And I'm going to use the same rows. Oops, what am I doing? It's okay. Now that ice blue is disappearing. So what I'm gonna do is this. You see how it's popping up more now? That's good. What I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna let it go midway. I'm gonna send this short one, and then I'm going to add a little bit more here. So let's say it's gonna end probably somewhere right here. So I don't want it to just, so I'm gonna stop it here. I'm gonna pull it here, but I really want it to continue. So as you can see here, this is where it's going to hide in there, right? So I'm gonna get that another strand, just so that we still have the same effect of 2 yarns. So this is a nice long one. So what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to continue the pattern. So it's here, under, over. So I'm going to just put it here. And we're just going to pretend like the strand continues. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to continue it here. Okay. I still want to have that natural appearance. Okay, so now I need to bring the second friend along here. I'm going the same row. Now the yarns are going to get a little bit thicker. So you can see now why it's important not to use the full strand, because we're building up the color. It's just like painting, you know, it's just like painting. All right, now I'm going to secure these two, and so you can see here it's a smooth transition between adding that new and second yarn. I actually might cut this. See how this one's really long? It's really annoying to try to weave with both of them at different ends. So what I'm going to do is just cut this really long one off, this extra, just so that they're at the same length. I'm just going to use this for later. And I'm just going to thread them through. And I'm going to put the blue strand through. Now, once we get to a certain part, we're going to be transitioning the blue out and put in the lighter color. Okay. Oh, that looks great. Okay. So it really depends how you are moving with the colors. So I would probably go with this halfway. Or something like this maybe, just so that it's a little bit more gradual. Okay, so I stopped this double strand here, and now I'm just going to go in with the blue. Again, I'm just trying to build it up a little bit more gradually. Okay, and you want to just keep the colors building as you go. Here it stopped the color, so I'm just going to continue it on this side, adding that double. I'm just going behind it, just coming back around, pulling it through, and then starting the new row here. And for me, it's okay that they're not moving in the same direction, but it's just important that they follow the same pattern here. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, I'm still picking up the same row, opening the same shed. Okay, and it's just building. Now I still kind of want to have another blue row here. It's up to you to experiment and see what works best for you. Maybe you don't want to have too many of these transition rows or these full blue rows, and you, you want it to have a different appearance, and that's okay. think I'm gonna start introducing the next color. Oops. So as you can see here, so because it went in the wrong other direction, it's kind of hooked there. Now I want the pattern to keep going around, so just want to be careful here with the edges and that it's coming around. Okay. The sandwich there. Oh, it's great. You see how like here has like that blue? So I kind of want to keep building that maybe here. So I think I'm going to just do a row, half row here, here, and stop in the middle. Just so that I can keep building that color up. Now again, it depends how you're going to build your colors. Let's see how I'm trying to build it up here, that blue. Then I'm gonna go, let's continue this. Now, I think I might just show you, I will go ahead and show you how to transition and start leaving that blue. So now I'm just gonna work with some blue strands instead. Oops. Okay, maybe we can do this. I think each of these blues, each of these yarns are 3-ply. Let me take a look. Sure, yeah, they're 3-ply, yep. So they're 3-ply, so what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to start reducing this to 2-ply. Now I could do that by just taking this apart and unraveling it won't, because it's already in here. But I think I'm just going, like I did here, I'm just hiding the end, the yarn end behind the loom, behind the warp yarns. And then I'm gonna just take these 2 strands. 2 strands. Here are 2 strands that I have. Because that's half, not half, it's a third of this yarn, this thread. So it's gonna be the same, it's just gonna be not so thick. And I think I might go ahead and start adding that white. So I'm just putting this where it ended, so here, so it continue up out of this one. Make sure you're careful with those yarns in the back. Okay, and I'm gonna add these little friends on the back. I think I'm gonna add them here. So it should be now I really want to add that third yarn, the third strand of this in a bit. No, I messed up here. Okay, I see what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go under. I really just want a very cohesive appearance of these yarns, yeah? So, okay, well, I don't want this yarn here hanging out. I don't know what I did here, but it's all right. What I think I'm going to do is this. I'll just hang it out like that. It's kind of hidden. Just making sure these yarns are... Okay, maybe I'll just send it through. No, here I really want this white over there, and because this is... I'm just going to cut it. That's okay. There's enough end there. And then this is getting shorter. This one's not going to come all the way, so I'm just going to add this end tail there. Okay. This is for the next row. I don't know if it's going to make it. Yeah. Now I'm just trying to really introduce that color. So just transitioning out this. This middle yarn is... So it's really up to you how much you're adding into moving. So here I'm lessening this blue, but I'm going to now add 3 strands of this. But if you think about it, one of these strands, like before here, it's the same. So I probably don't have to really hold 3 strands and just hold this instead. So let's try and see what happens here. Gonna have this sandwich effect again. This is probably the last row I have with the ice blue at the bottom, because this blue is going to disappear. Catch that edge. this one to keep going here. But this edge, because this one was going this way, and this one was going this way, and this one was coming the other way. So, oh wait, that's not right. Oh, okay, I see what I've done. Ah, that's what I did. You see, like there's still that transition. So here it's kind of looking a little choppy from joop joop. So what I might do is this. I might do maybe some half rows of the blue and then adding this ice blue, just so that we have more of this transition between it. So as you can see here, this was like really light, but then here it's like a more starker transition. But so I have 2 more strands because that row ended. Just tucking that tail in. So here I went under, this one over, so then this one under again. Just let it sim out. Now these ends are really different, so it's better. But I don't want it to go all the way, it's gonna be too strong. So I'm gonna go to here. It's this end though. I want to secure this end. It'll be better once I have another layer on top. This one's from before, yeah. So what I might do is this, because now I'm kind of, I think it's okay, you know, if you're weaving it and like here I had a row, so sometimes you might have to just cut the ends to keep it going so that they match. So I'm fine with just doing that. It's up to you and the effect that you want. For me, it works that I will maybe add a little bit blue that way. What did I do here? Maybe I wanted to add white here, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna move this blue yarn to the back. There we go. It's up to you how you continue it. So that's just the basics here of the color gradation. Now let's talk about getting the blue out and getting the second color in. So okay, so as we continue to build this design, some of this is a bit more gradual, like for here, for example, when we had a lot more blue, we add more parts of that. And then here you can see when we are transitioning out of this to the next one, here we have the thicker yarn, the 3-ply instead of the 2. And now we're taking, they're minimizing this blue, the 2-ply. We're going to start reducing it down to 1 as we did before. So it's up to you how gradual you make it, and you can see the different effects that happen when we add more layers of the blue, or if we take out the blue and then we put more white, or this ice blue, the second color too. So yeah, okay, so that's just something to take into consideration while you're weaving this. Okay, or transitioning the colors. So let's go to the next part. I want this to be a little bit more stronger, but I still want to have a bit more blue, and then we're going to just go white or ice blue. Okay. And so now I want these to be on the same color part. So now I'm going to reverse it. I'm going to put this blue, and I'm going to put the ice blue on top of it. Okay, so I'm just going to have them continue starting. Now it's up to you again. Oops, here we are. It's really up to you where the yarns start and end. I'm just going to keep it here. Okay, yeah, this is from before. Okay, that's no problem. Now, unlike for mine, you want to just be careful with the edges, and when you're adding the new yarns, to control those edges and make sure they're not like bubbling up too much, okay, or really bubbling at all. It can be difficult when you're balancing two different yarns and then two different colors, and then they all have different plies and they're coming out of different places. So, just something to keep in mind while you're adding the colors. So in this next row, I'm going to just have this ice blue. I'm going to do 2 rows of it because I'm transitioning out this dark blue. So I kind of want to show the dominance of this first color, this new old number color 2. Similar like what we were doing before with the blue. So now we're moving out of it. Now, again, I probably could do a better job here transitioning and having more rows of this ice blue and the blue, just so that it's a little bit more even and like a calm transition. Okay. All right. So I want to bring the blue back in. The idea of this blue leaving here halfway, because So here it's kind of heavy with this ice blue. And I'm just going to continue here. The ice blue. Now it might be time to go ahead and decrease the yarns because I did already hide it. But I kind of wanted a little bit more pop of this blue. So there's a high density here. So the colors and the patterns and everything. And I can kind of play around with this when I move it around. Okay. All right. Okay. So maybe I'll add more blue over there. Now I don't want to say goodbye to the blue yet. Maybe I'll add that blue, that last little tail of blue in here. So I'll pick it up maybe here. Just gonna use that shed that's open. That might be the end of this blue. The 2-ply of the blue. And then I'm gonna switch over to 1-ply. So here it's still there, and I'm just gonna tuck in, just gonna make the most of this ice blue that's kind of sandwiched it in. I just want that end. Hopefully you don't see too much of a difference. And yeah, I think that's all right. It's kind of a pop there of that blue. Okay. Now here you can kind of see that stark blue line. So again, like I was saying, it could be a little bit more gradual in this sense here, or this blue, stark blue line. Okay. Now I want to bring that 1-ply in. Trying to find a very long blue ply. Okay, here we are. This is a good one. Nope, they're all short. Oh yeah, I think all of my blue strands are pretty short. Okay, that's no problem. So now I'm going to transition with just, continue with just 1 strand of blue, and I'm going to keep building with this. So I'm going to go ahead and just add this yarn here. Just tucking that end in. I'm going to continue the pattern. So where are we here? Uh-oh. Come on, little yarn end. There we go. Oh wait, it's the same. Okay, hold on. What did I do here? Okay, let me do this. Okay, that looks good. Oh, these short ends are blah. Okay, but that's good. Now I have the yarn in place, so what I'm going to do is just tuck in this yarn tail. But it's so short, I don't want it to fall out, so. Now, similar to before, I don't want it to be too strong here. So maybe what I'll do is maybe just have this blue come in, not halfway, but a few ends out. Now I want to have that blue tail come back. Come on, little guy. So let me put him through here. That would be good, I think. Continuing the pattern, I'm going to build up with both the ice blue and this one strand on one side, on one row I mean. There might be enough of this one to go all the way through. Make sure that end doesn't get pulled too much. Okay. That might be the end of this blue. Let me go ahead and tuck that one in there. And then I'm just going to continue with this ice blue. This end is about to end too. Gonna go where that end started. Here we are. So right now I'm gonna do a few rows of the ice blue, and then every now and then I'm going to introduce one strand of the blue, one strand of blue. Just similar to like this section here, with adding just a few rows of blue every now and then, which I might add right here, just stopping halfway. Gonna grab that strand of blue, one strand. Okay, just letting that tail in there. Okay, I put this ice blue through. Okay. Maybe I'll go ahead and add this dark blue as well. And just put it in there first, the dark blue under. Secure it. Pull that ice blue on top. Similar to this one here. I'm gonna hide this. Maybe I just do one more, like a little bit, just so this end is taken care of here. But I don't want to put too much. Just a little hint. It's more like a little hint there. That looks good. And then in the back here, just pull to make sure that yarn is nice and secure in place. And then from here, I think it's okay to add a little bit of those blue hints every now and then, but the frequency of it, don't want to add too much or too often. For example, it might be nice to add a little bit of blue here, just in the middle. I think there's a little bit left of this, yeah. Maybe I would add it right here. So let's see if I can perform some surgery. Okay, I think I just want it to be halfway. I don't even want it to go through the whole part, but just here in the middle. Just gonna secure it there. Oh yeah, that looks nice. And then just a few rows of ice blue, I think. No, for me, I don't think I'll add any more of the blue. And I think I would just keep going up with the ice blue. Okay, so let's take a look here at the overall finished product here. So things that are good and things that you can improve on, or I can improve on here. So it's nice we have here the two solid colors at the top, right? And so the middle part is the focus of our piece. Now, some good, really cool things here about this that you can learn from. So here we have like a nice gradual transition at the beginning and here at the top as well. So this is when you're using one strand or one ply of the yarn, and here as well. And here there's a nice transition of the colors moving this way. And even from here, the center part down is a nice transition. Now here, when moving from one color to the next, or this big transition part, I recommend that you kind of work on, like here in this part here, there's a nice gradual change here with the building of color 1 to color 2, and there's some areas that are left with just a lot of color 1, and same here, here, and some parts in here. Now I would, if I was doing this next time, here there's like a really big row of blue. It's almost like there's a separation or barrier between these instead of it just being continuous and gradual. So if next time I was to do this, I wouldn't have this band of blue here, but maybe if I was to build up more blue here and white here, or this ice blue, then I think it would be a lot more gradual, the transition. So in this video, I showed you more of how to take the strands of the yarns and then add them to and build them up and lessen them so that you can build a better transition. So yeah, I would say for the next time in this, I would kind of stay away from making these long horizontal accents and work on moving the colors around. So for example, here we have a nice like buildup of this ice blue, and here we have a nice transition of this blue to ice blue. And here, I think if there wasn't this band of blue, then this would be a quite successful transition between these two colors. Remember, build the colors up gradually and take your time. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with this piece here, but it's still transitioning from one color to the other. But being a little bit more gradual and taking your time can create a really a nice blended appearance. For example, in the sample, so when taking a look at the sample here, you can see that there's a lot more buildup of the blue into and transitioning from this ice blue to this this darker blue here. You can kind of even see like this progression, right? And here you can see that there's a bit more time it takes to get, or a few more rows it takes to get to this blue and finally to this dark blue. So I would say this is a bit more gradual, and this one is a bit starker. It's a lot quicker, the transition, so it has like this kind of, yeah, it has a band as well. But so you can see there's some bands in here, but there's still this gradual effect here that happens. Okay, so this just comes with layering and just taking more of the base color, color 1, and changing it to color 2, and you can still get the same effect using the techniques from this. All right, well, I hope that this was helpful for you, and now you can use this color gradation using plain weave, and I hope that this was helpful, and if it was helpful, then please leave a thumbs up, and please subscribe for more weaving content. Also, you can this series is part of a 3-part series with using plain weave, sumuk weave, and raya knots, and you can find these techniques with those weaving patterns. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye!